Vicky? You haven't seen that woman in 7 years.
I really don't know where to start, Dan.
Daddy!
I have kids.
Twins.
I'm gonna be an old dad. You're gonna be Uncle Charlie.
We can do this.
We?
I'm all out of love, so lost without you.
You know those movies that celebrities often do where you can clearly tell that there was no real vision that went into the movie and that just kind of exists for the sake of existing and making some quick money? Well, that pretty much sums up this movie, Old Dogs. While preparing for an important business deal, two bachelors, played by John Travolta and Robin Williams, become the unexpected caretakers of twin children. One debacle after another follows, as the two clueless men try to take care of both their business duties and the rambunctious siblings. Though their lives are turned upside down, the men may just gain an understanding of what's really important in life. In this movie, you have the late great Robin Williams and John Travolta. They play two childhood buddies. One is divorced and has had a one-night stand with this woman who is going to be going to jail for 2 weeks, and turns out that she had kids, and for 2 weeks it seems that these two guys are going to have to take care of the kids. One thing I want to highlight is joke recycling with this film, and that a lot of the jokes are either about how old these guys are or how quasi-gay everything is. Keep doing the whole, oh, haha, you guys are old. I mean, it's even in the title, Old Dogs. And yeah, they are older guys, but they hammer that joke into the ground so many times. It was just, after a while, you're like, stop. Stop. Oh, they go to a breakfast with the kids, and oh, they're rewarded the new seniors attending the restaurant. Like, it reminds me of that movie that we talked about for the YouTuber Movies video, Late in America, with KSI. How a lot of the humor was, look, KSI and his friend, you know, oh, they hug in public and stuff. Huh, that's pretty gay. A lot of the humor is like that. And it's like when in Hangover 3 they had that whole relationship between Zach Galifianakis and Bradley Cooper, and it was just cringy. It's such an easy joke, and it's not funny every time they do it. If anything, it just made me want to rewatch The Birdcage, because that's actually a movie. Like I said with Daddy Day Camp, a lot of the humor is very predictable. I mean, nut shots, fart jokes, poop jokes, you know, wacky shenanigans of people doing stupid stuff and making themselves look like jackasses or get into compromising situations. Like, for example, there's a scene where they do bumbling stuff at a country club / golf course. There's a part where they make asses of themselves when they're at a weekend camp getaway.
How'd that feel, Gilmore Girl?
It's one of those movies where it's just kind of a series of stuff happening for the sake of happening. Like, it reminds me of other movies we talked about for Blockbusters earlier this year, like Just Go With It and What's Your Number, where every scene is just unfunny set piece after unfunny set piece of people falling over or running into stuff or making goofy faces and mugging for the camera. It's all the names that this movie was able to rope in. There's some big name talent behind this film. And you got the late great Robin Williams and you got John Travolta. And then other than that, you also have Matt Dillon, Justin Long, Dax Shepard, Louise Guzman, Seth Green, all these people who have like cut their teeth in comedy. And, you know, whether or not they've been in, like, good comedies for their entire careers, because they've obviously, all these people have done really bad comedies over the years, but they've also starred in really good ones, and they can be funny, and it's just like, it just seems like they were desperate for work, or they just needed something to do that would get them an easy paycheck.
Did you do this?
Oh, yeah.
Did you bring them in?
Definitely.
Why?
You described this house as being a dangerous place for kids, so I hired the best child-proofers there are.
Now, even I know you do not baby-proof a house for a 7-year-old.
Sir, you got a flamethrower for a fireplace.
You know, it's a fashion, it's a style.
The spears?
What kind of guy buys poison-tipped spears?
1,000 years ago they were poison. I don't know if they're poison now.
You bought those 1,000 years ago?
No, they...
You expect me to believe that?
There's even a scene where they get the late great Bernie Mac in there, and the reason for that is Bernie Mac's character is really good with, like, puppeteering and animatronic work, so he develops this like control suit that John Travolta will put on so that he can make Robin Williams do a bunch of really impressive stuff in front of his kids. There's a part where Robin Williams has the suit that is being controlled, so over top it he has a costume for a king because his daughter wants him to be a king and she'll be the princess, and there's, of course, like, John Travolta makes him do a bunch of dance moves and stuff, and uh-oh, Robin Williams trips and ends up landing in a dog bowl filled with water, and it short circuits the thing, so now he can't control it, and he's up to his own devices, and he has to connect with his daughter through his words, and they're able to talk, and he actually finds a real connection with his kids. Of course, you get the cliche third act falling out, sort of, where the two guys get a promotion with this Japanese company that they're going to be merging with, so they have to go to Japan because Seth Green's character was sent to go do business for them in Japan, but he ran off to go do karaoke in an authentic Japanese kimono. I like to imagine that the reason that happened is because Seth Green's character is actually supposed to be a weeaboo. And so once the mom gets out of prison for those 2 weeks, she's happy to see that their family seems to be growing, but Robin Williams says, I have to go to Japan. I'm sorry, you know, hopefully in about 6 months I'll be able to come back and be part of the family again, but I have to go for business. Of course, after a while they're in Japan, Robin Williams realizes family is more important. John Travolta thinks that he's ruining their business opportunity, but they end up coming together once John Travolta's pet dog dies. And then the last 10 minutes is just goofy shenanigans for the sake of goofy shenanigans. They're trying to get to the kid's birthday party, which is at a zoo, and it's the scene that was in all the trailers, it was all over the posters, where they end up sneaking into an enclosure with a gorilla. Unfortunately, the gorilla is not played by Nick Nolte this time, like in Zookeeper. Seth Green ends up having to stay back and being cuddled by the gorilla, and John Travolta and Robin Williams end up in a tank full of penguins.
Penguins! Oh.
And Robin Williams gets his hand on a jetpack from this party entertainer guy. He's able to do one big awesome birthday surprise for the kids, and they have one big family hug. And during the credits, we see a year later, John Travolta now has a baby with his assistant, played by the lady that plays Becky on Full House, the one that's now arrested. Yeah, she was in this movie. And so Williams and Travolta's families all go on one big boat trip together during the end credits, while they're joined by the baby proofers who did their house, who are played by Dak Shepard and Louise Guzman. And again, they were really trying to make the most out of what they were given. And that's saying something, because Dak Shepard did the Chips reboot. So like I said, this movie falls in line with other really just mediocre, bland, unfunny, cliche, just super marketable, predictable crap comedies that we reviewed before, like Just Go With It and What's Your Number. And that they're not the worst things ever, but they're really not good. And it just feels like these are just cheap movies that Hollywood pumps out because, you know, they're marketable, you get a bunch of big names in it, and it's an easy paycheck. Done and done. That's really all I take away from this movie, is that it was bland and it wasn't that funny. And I mean, if you have a family, they might like it. It might be an enjoyable watch on Netflix for families, but even then, there's way better family movies out there compared to this. So that does it for Blockbuster videos in November. We have 3 more Blockbuster videos planned for December, so look forward to those. They're all going to be themed around Christmas or winter-themed movies, so look forward to that. Until then, I'm Adam Sykes of The Blockbuster Show, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Hey,
You remind me of that old dude who stole my girlfriend.
What are you saying?
My beef is not with you, old woman.
Thank you.